Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect and how it affects them and the price of milk. Thank you. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe down below. Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects of the like. Thank you for joining in. Welcome all Mandela effectians. So tonight we're talking about Boston's Great Molasses Flood of 1919. How many of you guys remember this or remember hearing about this? If you're from that area, seemed like you would have known, maybe your grandparents would have told you, something like that. I grew up on Long Island, and I don't remember ever hearing about this, and Boston's fairly close to the island. In 1919, so Theresa, who discovered this one? This
was Once Upon a Timeline. Her name is Eva. She's a really smart lady.
Yeah, so tell me the gist of it. So what happened? It was like 2.3 million gallons or something? Molasses flood?
Yes, that spilled and it went throughout the town and killed a bunch of people, and it was like a massive, like 50-foot wave. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if you have the information up there. Yeah,
I was looking at some of the residue you sent me, which I'm going to share with the audience in just a moment. But
yes, those are actual pictures and headlines of what happened, and I've never heard of this in my life, even in my history book. This is like way beyond my learning.
It happened. Yeah. So it happened on January 15th, 1919. The Great Molasses Flood tore through the north end of Boston, and it deposits so much gooey residue. It says, and there's the word residue. That locals claimed they could still,
there you go.
Yeah, they could still smell the molasses on warm days decades later. So you would have smelled it probably back in the 50s if you were around that time. So most of us probably think of molasses as a tasty ingredient in treats like gingerbread. This stuff has a few other uses. You can actually turn, it says here, molasses into rum, believe it or not, or industrial alcohol fairly easily. And the Purity Distilling Company that built the gigantic tank in Boston's North End in 1915 was actually supplying its booze-making operations. To me, honestly, that sounds like a sabotage, but I don't know. I mean, golly. So the tank was 50 feet tall, 90 feet across. 2.5 million gallons of molasses could be held in that. I never knew that. Did you know that, Theresa? You can make rum with molasses?
No.
That's pretty crazy. Massive tank was nearly full on January 15th thanks to a recent infusion of 2.3 million gallons of molasses from Puerto Rico. And just in the afternoon, something went horribly wrong. Witnesses recalled hearing a noise like a gunfire as the tank's rivets popped open and the steel sides ripped open. And then 26 million pounds of molasses were tearing down Commercial Street in a 15-foot wave.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't make a movie.
Show the pictures?
I'm surprised they didn't make a movie out of this. It seemed like they would have made a movie.
Not yet, Brian. Give it time.
A giant wave of sticky foodstuff sounds something like from a cartoon. It sounds like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, only it's Attack of the Molasses. And it was traveling at 35...
Or, you know, like Titanic? Like, yeah. Titanic, maybe something like along that line, you know?
And the power, yeah, you're right. The power was at 35 miles an hour. That's how fast it was flowing. Not like lava. You know, lava flows something slower than that. But, let's see, power was sufficient to rip buildings off of their foundations. That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
So the
How
human...
many people were killed, Brian?
Well, let's say moved so quickly and so forcefully that anyone who was unlucky enough to be in its path didn't stand much of a chance. They were either knocked over, crushed, drowned in the goo. The flood claimed 21 people, and another 150 suffered injuries. Any flood would have been disastrous, but the viscous nature made rescue attempts even trickier. Oh my goodness! I wonder if it was hot molasses. That you'd suffer like third-degree burns or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So even after the victims have been pulled from the muck, the cleanup crews quickly learned that getting rid of 2 million gallons of molasses was no small task. Okay, so there was a book actually called The Dark Tide. Stephen Poitou wrote about one of the chief obstacles of the cleanup. Firefighters couldn't just use their hoses to blast the molasses off the buildings. Salt water, that's what they discovered. Salt water would cut the hardened molasses to enable them to hose it down and into the gutters. So yeah, the sticky mess moved around the city via the people's shoes. So let's see, the cleanup on this required 80,000 man hours. Now they're trying to derive what happened here. So the tragedy happened when the United States Industrial Alcohol Company was quick. Let's see, they were quick to blame everyone's favorite early 20th century scapegoat, anarchists. They thought it was anarchists at first. The company claimed that since its alcohol was an ingredient in government munitions, anarchists must have sabotaged the tank by detonating a bomb. Another theory explained that the molasses had fermented inside the tank, which led to an explosion. Investigators soon found the real culprit, though. Apparently, it was a shoddy construction. The company had been in such a hurry to get the tank built in 1915 that it didn't seem to think about the construction. So they ignored the corners completely. So the tank walls were too thin, and they were made of a steel that was too brittle to withstand the volume of the molasses. The man who oversaw the construction, it says here, he wasn't even an engineer or an architect. In fact, he couldn't even read a blueprint. So how in the world did he design? Why did they let him design this crazy construction that would eventually fail cheaply? It would eventually fail. So they had to build it quickly and cheaply as possible. So yeah, there's some residue here for some newspapers. Over 50 hurt, 11 dead on the north end. And then this is the newspaper remembering the tragedy. You guys just saw that on history. It was on Mental Floss. By the way, guys, if you like Mental Floss, check it out because it really does exercise your brain a lot. That's why they call it Mental Floss in the first place. I would highly recommend that site for any news and tidbits. But this is also from History.com as well as CNN.com. There are certain websites that have this information. This is no fake news. This really happened back then. I don't know if it's
really happened, Brian.
Yeah, and I can neither confirm nor deny that this is a Mandela effect. So I'm asking all of you out there to ask your grandparents. Again, nobody likes to be bugged when it comes to memory, you know, but it seemed like a lot of people would have remembered this. And
hey Brian, I just spoke to my apartment mate. You're here right now. He doesn't remember it.
He doesn't remember it?
I spoke to him.
All right. And the other thing is we have.
Asked about it.
Yes, and here's another part of this video that we're going to be talking about. This actually 3 parts of this video, 3 different possible effects. We have this Poitou donkey. It's spelled P-O-I-T-O-U, donkey. It's a specific breed of donkey. It looks almost like something you'd see out of Star Wars. Like honestly, like these big woolly donkeys here. I don't know if these were real, but they look really cute. You know, I want to have one. You know, like keep it around. You know, it looked like it'd be real popular in the '60s. You know, with the hippie hair.
Hey Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, it looks like the same effect happened to the sheep too. The same effect of the hair. Same effect as a sheep. Remember?
Yeah, the sheep. Well, not to mention there's these.
Same idea.
Well, I don't know if this is a genetically modified animal or if it was really natural. Like you know, God is infinite in wonders, and he doesn't make mistakes. And these animals, they're special creatures. They're God's creatures. But I also think that mankind is also tampering with animals as well. They're trying to make perfect breeding. You know, so Poitou donkeys. Definitely have never heard of that. But we also have woolly pigs. And I've talked about this one before, but this is there are real. This is a real thing. They have woolly pigs. For all of you who are new to the Mandela effect, I've talked about this before. These things. I mean, what's next? Are we going to see a wolf that has a woolly wolf? I bet we will. I'm sure we're not too far from that. In fact, the theme song for this specific episode should be Woolly Bully. I don't know now. So now we're getting.
You should play the theme song in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play Woolly Bully. But also, speaking of woolly and being cold and gearing up for winter, have you guys ever noticed these spinning ice? Like, this is a rare phenomenon. Apparently, you see on lakes or rivers, you would see spinning ice that turns into a circle. I think it's pretty awesome. I dare anyone to try to stand on one, but don't take my word for it. You know, do it at your own risk. So there's somebody there standing on one of these circles. Also, guys, we got our polar ice caps back. Apparently, there is like pieces of ice now. The ice caps seem okay. Before it was like a big giant lake, you know, our ocean in the middle of the North Pole. But now the North Pole is actually mounted in ice, apparently. So thank God for that. But yeah, I've never heard of these ice circles. So who gets credit for this one, Theresa? Do you know? Theresa?
That's from the same channel.
Eva?
Eva.
Okay. What's her channel? What's the name of her
Once
channel?
Upon a Timeline.
Yeah, Once Upon a Timeline.
She's got a lot of stuff you've never heard of before, Brian. A lot.
Yeah. Guys, I challenge you. Go. Look, we've already talked about anti-crepuscular rays. These are sun rays that are different now, where it looks like you have a second sun on the other end of the sky, and it closely resembles our sun, but it's actually like a empty space with rays of light coming out of it. I find that really weird. I'm not the one who discovered it, but I mean, I discovered it for myself one day when I was looking at the sky on the way to the Carolinas, and I had no idea this was the real thing. It's a phenomenon, you know. So a lot of these, they may not be Mandela effects, but there are times you have to question nature. You know, like, I mean, I definitely don't want to question God, but you know, questioning nature is one of these things that you know, honestly, I think it's really awesome. You know, it's definitely a conversation piece. If you can imagine, you know, seeing one of these and you're out there with your buddies or friends, and you know, just keeps our interest. So Theresa is leaving her. She's got to leave her clubhouse, and so we're going to lose internet. But guys, it was nice. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Please thumb up and like it and subscribe. More videos to come. Have a great Mandela Effect night. God bless you all.